Alright, today guys we're back with another video, and this is what if Naruto was Kaguya's son. Now how this will work is simple. Kaguya, instead of giving birth to 2 children, she gives birth to 3. With the third having extraordinary power, having the Rinnegan Tensegan, being born naturally with the Rinnegan Tensegan, and even the legendary Pure Eye, which was something that her father had, the king of Ososuke. We skip around to the well, no. Within this what if, Naruto is gonna be incredibly loyal towards his mother, which means that if anyone even said the slightest thing, such as that they didn't like her rule, they would be instantly executed by Naruto because of his Rinnegan's ability, All Sight, which basically gave them the ability to see everything, which if he is targeting a certain thing. His second Rinnegan ability allowed him to attack opponents, allowed him to teleport attacks such as punches and the shockwave from punches and sword slices. So he basically had the ability to slice you up, beat you up, and he was fucking overpowered. So you had an enemy if you were facing him. Fucking faggot ass nigga. So we see.
Oh, he playing Minecraft.
So we basically see Naruto. Well, we basically see Hamura and Hagoromo looking towards their mother. How could you? Hamura and Hagoromo say at the same time, as Naruto feels his mother's overwhelming presence, but of anger. Naruto quickly disappears and reappears in front of his brothers. You have betrayed our mother. For this act, death is your only escape. Then Hagoromo and Hamura going to battle Naruto, with the battle being hectic. Naruto having the upper hand for pretty much all of the battle, which went on for 3 years long. Well, for 5 years long. With Naruto constantly using his dojutsu's ability, which is called level up. The longer he's in a battle, similar to that of the legendary Super Saiyan, he gets stronger and stronger. With the only thing allowing them to combat this overwhelming strength is them basically their overwhelming teamwork and their individual dojutsus and techniques, which were seemingly made for each other. We see the battle. Naruto stood in front of his brothers as Hamura was on his knees, breathing in heavily. Tensegan cloak! He yelled out, then he disappeared going in for the battle. Hagoromo then got back up, swinging around his staff as he then went into the battle. Naruto then laughed. You foolish buffoons! You decided to face our mother, and your punishment is death. Then he disappeared, kicking Hagoromo into the stars. Then he reappeared, slamming Hamura's head into the ground, then slammed his forearm into his stomach. As then he disappeared above Hagoromo. As then he brought down his leg with immense power, slinging Hagoromo all the way towards the ground, eventually crashing into Hamura. Then Hagoromo and Hamura got back up, breathing in heavily with both of them coughing out blood. Hagoromo, you were always the reasonable type. You should stop your foolish battle against Mother and just join her in her great glory. Oh, never! She is killing people. For that, her punishment is death. Hamura, get ready, he said as he jumped back. As then, both of their dojutsus met. Then their chakra and physical form began to convert towards chakra. As then they fused together. We have powered to the full extent of our Osasusuke blood. You shall face us, brother, and see who shall be the victor. They then began a hectic battle, with Naruto being pretty much on the losing side. This would go on for another 3 years, making it a total of 8 years. Until finally, Hagoromo and Hamura attack Naruto while he is breathing heavily. You bastards! At this point in time, Naruto has far surpassed his mother in terms of power, with the Hagoromo and Hamura fusion surpassing their mother as well. You truly believe that you can win? As he yells out, Starbreaker! As then a beam of light began to shoot down towards them, and before it can reach, he falls down, completely knocked out from exhaustion. Hamura and Hagoromo basically defuse and quickly get into the ceiling stance. World deportation seal! As they both slammed their hands against Naruto's stomach as he began to float up, as rocks began to attach to his body, his overwhelming power incinerating some of the rocks, until eventually the moon was created. Back with Kaguya. Kaguya was waiting for the result, as finally she felt a familiar chakra signature. Naruto, you finally won the battle. We shall presume. As she looked down to see a ceiling formation on her stomach, then she began to pull, as then the earth began to seemingly pull her down as she was consumed under the earth. reunited. With this, Hagoromo and Hamura's life are far shorter because of the fact that they had burnt out so much of their lifespan and power in defeating their brother and their mother. And their mother, oh, they didn't have that much of a struggle with their mother, but their brother was another story. They then have their children, and then Hagoromo died, with Hamura doing the same. We skip to the Nine Tails attack. We see the full moon blaring. As then the Nine Tails felt it, an overwhelming aura the size of his father's and Hamura's combined, but it was greater and its power was growing. He then looked up towards the moon as the moon began to crack and break. A sonic boom flew off the moon as cracks appeared in it. Another sonic boom. 3 sonic booms later, a large hole remained in the moon as I walked Osatsuki Naruto. My power to return. Then he snapped his finger and the moon began to regenerate. As he then flowed down towards the earth, the death god's eyes opened widely. As Minato looked up towards the death god, as he actually saw fear. As the death god began to speak. Naruto. As the legendary figure stood in front of him. Quiet up. As he snapped, the death god then faded away. As Minato dropped dead. Naruto then snapped again as Minato was alive and fully regenerated. So was Kushina. Nephew. Minato then blinked his eyes as he then rubbed his face and his ears. Did he just say nephew? As the Nine Tails was shaking in fear, which surprised Minato. Uncle Naruto! The Nine Tails roared in fear. Kurama! Tell me, where is my brothers? As within this what if Hamura and his family lived on the surface of the moon instead of inside of it. So they were affected, but since they didn't know what power was after, they just assumed that it was a new occurrence. So they rebuilt the destroyed homes and basically went on with their lives. So, where are they? As he then snapped his finger as the Nine Tails shot up. As he coughed out saliva, I said, where are they? Where is my brothers? I don't know, the Nine-Tails said. As it then Naruto said, "You're too big. Come down to my size." As he snapped his fingers, the Nine-Tails began to shrink as he was up to Naruto's size. "What did you say?" As the Nine-Tails began to speak, "I don't know." Naruto's eyes then glared with anger. "I'll deal with you later." As he then turned around, looking towards Kushina and Minato, who are now basically looking at Naruto in fear and confusion. Since basically Naruto went up to the Kyuubi who they had to. They were like, "Yeah, I can't even fight it." But he's just like, "I snapped my finger and the Kyuubi is scared." Like, I'm supposed to be scared of this nigga. I don't know if I seen someone who was stronger than me and he was scared of somebody, so like, I would be scared myself, honestly. So, the Kyuubi, as then Naruto said, as he then began to like walk towards them, then he placed his hand on the child on the ground. As then because he was basically sensing Ashura, which felt a little bit like his brother. "Regression. No. Maximum speed," he said, as then Naruto began to grope before Minato and Kushina's eyes. "Memory regeneration." As then Naruto remembered his past life as he saw him, the legendary, a person that his father told him to fear, a person who was a legend even among gods of the world. Naruto Osatsuki. "Uncle," Naruto said, Minma said, stepping back. "Yes. I want to ask you something. Where is your father? Where is your father and uncle?" Then Ashura began to look around. As then he noticed something. "I believe they're dead. So they just up and died on me. So they were too scared of my power to even give a crap whether I wanted them alive or dead. They're going to pay with their lives. Rene Rebirth." As he held out his hand, as Hagoromo's chakra, basically Hagoromo's escaped. He then felt himself getting yanked as he flew through the scape like a pinball. As he suddenly had view. As he saw his brother, sweat began to fall down his face as he looked towards his brother. He began to step back in fear. "So, you believe that you can escape me in death without me causing it?" As then he launched his fist towards Hagoromo, as Hagoromo shot back as he blew through mountains. Minato looked surprised. You! As he then pulled Hagoromo back towards him. You have the authority to call yourself what? The Sage of Six Paths now? All because you think just because you and that bastard killed Mother, did you? That's what you did, didn't you? You took Mother away from me. As he looked towards his brother, technically his brother, you took her away because you wanted to be selfish. I know. A crime like you deserves nothing but death. As Minato's eyes opened wide, he just heard that this guy was called the Sage of Six Paths. And this dude is the Sage of Six Paths, and the Sage of Six Paths being scared of this nigga. So he double, triple whammy, big nammy. I'm scared. Basically. As he snaps his finger, Naruto then turns into a baby, losing his memories. You know, I'm very sorry. You know that? As then he punched Hagoromo, grabbing onto his arm as Hagoromo's gut shot out of his body. As then he kicked Hagoromo towards the moon, as he then disappeared and reappeared, grabbing onto his head, as then he shot him back towards the ground. Honestly, you think that you are God, don't you? The title God only belongs to Mother. Universal Spear, he yelled out, as then a spear shot down from the heavens. Basically, universal spear. As then the spear shot down from the heavens, piercing Hagoromo. Jesus Christ. Bye-bye.